Aloha and good evening, everybody. Good morning to some of you. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz. I'm joining you from Livestream.travel and eTurbo News in Honolulu, Hawaii. And today we're celebrating, like we did all month, the launch for World Tourism Network. World Tourism Network is an initiative what was started out of our rebuilding.travel discussion and in response to the outbreak of COVID-19, the coronavirus, back in March of this year. And our first meeting was during a non-existing ITB trade show together with PATA, and no one knew at this time really how far and how bad this is going. Now we're in there, it's the holiday season, we're ready to celebrate a new year, but we are excited to start this organization, what is meant to help the medium and small-sized businesses to maneuver through these hard times. And we hope we can contribute to a global discussion. Our organization is built from the bottom up and not from the top down. It means our chapters we're establishing everywhere. Right now we have a little bit more than 1,000 members, a lot of additional observers in 124 countries. So we're very global. And our local chapters really take the lead in this organization. And we're hoping in having this global presence, we can assist our chapters locally to function and get more importance. We're doing all of this in cooperation with the African Tourism Board. The African Tourism Board is an organization what is 2 years old and was started to bring Africa together and make Africa one travel destination. I'm proud I was involved in the initial start, and I'm still involved in the African Tourism Board. So this is all, I think, a great opportunity for the world to come together and go through this crisis. We have a number of events that are already finished. You can find them on livestream.travel. And we also have a number of events coming up. For instance, very important after Kali Africa Media, what we're introducing here in a minute, we're going to have Tom Jenkins in London. He is the CEO of the European Tour Operator Association, giving us an update on the incredible, frightening situation in the UK and unfortunately also in South Africa, and what it does to the travel and tourism industry in that region and worldwide. We have a number of other events coming up in the next few days. We're specifically excited to have the second session for Peace Through Tourism. At our last session, we examined the 35 years of Peace Through Tourism with the founder, Louis D'Amour, and now we're going to look into the future. And we will end this year with inviting tour guides from all over the world to come together, share their experience, share their holiday spirit. And we're hoping we can somehow say goodbye to coronavirus, because exactly 100 years ago, the Spanish flu finished. And we're hoping maybe we can slowly forget COVID and start this new year on a better note. We'll see where this all goes. Now, without further delay, I'd like to introduce Kali. He is head of Kalo Africa Media. I've been on his show a number of times. He's an amazing guy. He's in Lagos, Nigeria. He has an audience all over Africa and is very committed to this industry. And I'm very humbled and proud to have him lead this session here. And I will give him the lead and the microphone. He has his own panel he brought in, and he will explain more. Thank you very much, Kazem, and welcome. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Jorgen. It's great to be here. You've been a wonderful person all the way. Looking at your experience in UNWTO, ATB, and now WTN. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to this platform. My name is Kazim Balogun. I'm the managing director of Kalo Africa Media, based in Lagos, Nigeria. Like he said, we we want to look at this issue that has to do with tourism. It's all about community tourism. And like I said, I have interesting individuals that are in the practice of doing business of tourism within their areas. And with little introduction, I will bring them in. Let me quickly say this. When it comes to tourism in Africa, I want to believe that there are many, one of which is the community tourism, community-based tourism. This is what we need to do in Africa. Like what I always tell people whenever I go to, because I don't want to see a situation whereby we restrict ourselves to city life, but we need to get to the rural Africa. That is where we will have a real sense of visit any African destination. You know, I've been to like 30 African countries. I don't restrict myself to the cities. I go to the hinterland. I see what they eat. I see where they sleep. I see so many things that they do there, and I'm enriched. So today, the essence for this is for us to look at a topical issue, which is consciousness of a community tourism, pathway to tourism development in Africa. You'll be hearing from individuals. You know, they'll be sharing their experiences with you, how their communities have been able to manage when it comes to community tourism. Because I believe that this is how Africa can develop its tourism potentials. We are not competing with the likes of Dubai. You know, once you get to Dubai, you see that city life, you're okay. But most of our cities are still developing. But we need our communities to really, really develop. And how can we achieve that? It's through tourism. This will even help in such a way that our government can even try and make revenues from all these communities. You know, I have good examples of places like Rwanda, like Tanzania, which you hear so much about that from Mr. Wandwi as when it comes on. The same thing in a place called Grand Bassam in Ivory Coast, as well as in Egypt. So the essence for this discussion is for us as Africans to really appreciate what we have. You know, the time has really come for us. This is the time for Africa. As a matter of fact, this is the time we can really, really leverage on the COVID-19 pandemic. Look at what is happening now. Currently, the entire Europe, so to speak, is under lockdown. You know, as of today, all the countries are saying UK citizens or tourists must not visit their countries. And the truth of the matter is that we really want to visit. Why is Africa not open up? And open up at least our communities. We need to open up our communities. Government needs to play its role. Individuals, we need to play our role. We need to bring in our communities together so that they can have a fair share of it. And that is the essence of sustainable tourism. The idea is for us to look inward. If we have not been doing that, you know, we have 54 countries in Africa. How many of these countries are looking at the communities, their community tourism? We have many of them concentrating on cities. And the truth of the matter is that most of the beautiful things about us, we can find them in these communities, in the rural areas. In my own hometown in Abeokuta, we have one of the most visited rock in Africa, if I'm right, Olumo Rock. You know, I to visit the place. I get to know that some of my the locals, they've never even visited the place, and you attract people from all over the world. You know, these are the things that we need. The consciousness needs to be there on the part of individuals, on the part of government. If an individual within a locality knows that he or she has something that the whole world can come in and take advantage of by way of visiting and giving back to the society, which can invariably help such a society or a community to grow. Such a person will protect such an environment. And the truth remains that, it will create employment. It will empower the people within those communities. Like what I see in some other African countries that I visited, the locals are being incorporated. Like the experience in Rwanda, if you go for gorilla trekking, the community is involved. And on the part of government, for us to reach all these areas, we need to have the social amenities, good road network. I remember visiting Namibia at a point. From Windhoek, we went to Sossusvlei. The road network is as if it was just constructed yesterday. Well tired. And this will help any community to develop. So on the part of the locality, the locals, the entire community, right from the head down to the youngest person in that community, they need to be involved so that they can have that sense of belonging. That's the essence. The awareness, the consciousness needs to be there. And this is the right time. This is an appeal to all African governments. You need to rise up to the occasion. Yes, we need to develop our cities, but let's do much of this within our rural communities. This is where the bulk of our national parks, as the chairman of ATB once said, this is where we have all our national parks, all our water view, our cultural heritages. This is where we have them. The best thing any government can do is to reach out to these communities and bring them to the limelight so that we can have more tourists visiting and government can say, okay, one way or the other, make revenue. So it's on this note, let me now introduce my first panelist, uh, Mr. Adel Abu Amer. He will be talking about sustainable tourism. So if you're there, Jorgen, can you bring him up, Mr. Adel Abu Amir? He will be from the point of view of what is happening in Egypt. So he has a story to tell us about community development and sustainable development in Egypt. So can you come up, Adel? Are you there? Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Calvo.
Okay.
Good morning to everyone over there. I am so happy and glad to be one of the speakers today regarding the community tourism, even in Egypt as well as in Africa. Good morning to everyone. Good evening to Mr. Steinmetz and to everyone who's us right now. So I would like to speak in brief about the community tourism and sustainable tourism development here in Egypt as an example for Africa. So can I share a small presentation with you, please?
Yes, go ahead. Just click on the share screen button. I'm going to give me 1 second and I add you to it. Okay, you should be able to share now.
Yes, please.
There's a share button on the bottom of the screen, in the middle.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's okay now?
Yes, we see your community
Yes.
tourism sustainability in Africa tourism.
Yeah, this main part which I speak today regarding is community tourism and sustainability in Africa tourism agenda. So, firstly, I will speak about my home country, which is Egypt, regarding the community and sustainable tourism in Egypt. This is a map of Egypt. I will focus on two cities here in Egypt. The most important tourism cities here in Egypt for let's say the international tourists here, Hurghada and Sinai. This two part here in close to the Red Sea in north east of Egypt. So community tourism in Egypt, the government in the previous years, they already take care about alternative tourism or alternative type of tourism like the community tourism and sustainable tourism. So community tourism here, we can say that the definition of the community tourism to share the natural resources of the local community with visitor to achieve the sustainable benefit of the local community. This is one of the most important thing nowadays because as we see right now, we face one of the crises around the world, and this make, for example, lockdown or they decrease the number of tourists worldwide in the globally. So the main issue for the community tourism in Egypt or worldwide is to protect the natural environment and respecting the way of life for these local communities, as well as care about their lands. It's also about who know everything about their area as well as the culture. So the local communities or the local people whom live here, so they know better than everyone. They want to interact with the international tourism. So this pose they lead us to 3 points, which is the most important points and the most important aims for any tourism. One of them is preserving identity, supporting low-income community, as well as creating job. The most important point here for the community tourism to create a jobs for the local, for everyone, and this lead us to more income in this developing countries. So I will move to the other slide, which is this is the time to embrace community tourism. As I told before, that during this crisis, we should think outside the box to find alternative way to develop, to cooperate, to make something better than what we have right now. So the COVID-19 pandemic provide an opportunity to us to the, for example, here in Egypt, to rediscover the way of sustainable tourism and thinking outside the box. That's why the past may appear at the time unclear because of this situation which we face right now. Now, this is the time to encourage the community tourism empowerment and the more travel routes to achieve the sustainable tourism development. So there is, I will explain, there is two examples here for the community tourism. The first one, which is the Sinai Trail. It was since almost 5 years, the government, they work on it. They already managed everything over there in the north east part of Egypt because this area is a little bit far, almost let's say around 500 kilometers from main city, which is Cairo. And there is a local community over there. That's why they started to connect all this local communities with the main city. So firstly, Sinai Trail, this one example or an example about the community tourism to help the empowerment local communities in their own environments. And this is the more and this is the most important thing, that to communicate the local communities with their own environment, as well as integrate culture and exchange them between generations. This is one of the most important thing for the community tourists, to interact between the generation and the others. So for the internal and external, this this experience aim to identify a tourism completely different from other type of tourism. All of us know, as well as here in Egypt, mainly about historical and beach tourism. So most of the guests, or most of the tourists, came for leisure, for beaches, for. Hello, you heard me? This is one of the example of the community tourism. I will move to another example for the community tourism, or let's say religious tourism, culture, and this post lead us to what we speak about community tourism. The second experience here is already done since a few years here, the path for the Holy Family. This project is a national tourist and urban project, and it's considered the longest path in one country, with a length of around 3,500 kilometer round and return. Start from Sinai directly to the capital of Egypt, then to South Egypt. This around 3,500 kilometer. This for the Holy Family, the path of the Holy Family. This path consists of 25 points that the Holy Family passed through. So with this project, means that we moved to alternative tourism, which is the community tourism. In this 25 points, there is a local communities over there. So it will be interact between the tourists as well and this local communities. And this achieve the what we speak about community tourism. And instead of this local style, we must embrace the idea of community tourism to instill and harmonize local identities. This is not only in Sinai, but also in southern Egypt, as well as there is one more project I will speak about it in Hurghada. So about the sustainability as well as the sustainable tourism development, we should think outside the box about what and why. What is sustainable tourism development and why it is. So as UNWTO defines the sustainable tourism is known as to protect the environment, society, and economy. So to reduce also the negative impacts or effects, and maximizing the positive. That's why uh, the main of the sustainable tourism in Egypt here, the government, they work on it. They already project some of the idea and some of the rules here to achieve the sustainable tourism. And why is this sustainable tourism? Sustainable tourism, they care about environmental, economic, and social. These three elements is the most important, even here in Egypt or for in other countries as well. So for the sustainable tourism, the government here, they created already since long time a program called the Green Star program. So this Green Star program, around 80 hotels, they already got this program, and this regarding the new reclassification for the hotel here. So the hotel establishment chamber launched a Green Star program to provide an environmental certification for all the hotel here that interested about the green tourism applications. So, and the number of hotel that obtain the Green Star program certification reached around 79 hotel in 15 tourist cities. This lead us, on the other hand, there is 70 of the tourists prefer to stay in the environmental friendly green practices hotel. 80, 58, 52, sorry, from them willing to change their vacation trip in line with sustainability. So the most important thing here that the guests or the tourists they prefer to stay in environmentally hotels than the normal hotel. So if we think outside the box and we create, for example, a program like Green Star program here in Egypt, in most of the hotel or the most of the hotel already applied for this program and the Green Star. So we help the environment, we help the local communities, we help the staff, we help everyone, even the client, because we should all of us cooperate to achieve what we look forward to. We look for the environmentally, we look for the more income, we look for the more jobs. As well as Minister of Tourism, they already created one of the most uh, important promotional video in since 3 years, since 4 years, sorry. This Egypt's promotional video campaign titled People to People was granted the Middle East Best Promotional Film awarded by the UNWTO in last year in 2019. This aim to reclassification increase hotel competitiveness for service quality as well as room prices, while the new standard that have been introduced, including service and environment. The sustainable tourism development, sorry, uh, we are here in Egypt. We created a lot of programs, a lot of projects to achieve it to be with WTO goals, 17 goals, which is in 2030. Because of that, because of that reclassification, which the Ministry of Tourism already did last few years, the number of guests around the world is increased. So in 2019, the number of German visitors jumped from 707,000 in 2018 to 2.5 million in 2019. So in Hurghada, this one of the important cities for the tourism and tourists here in Egypt. They already created one trail in the Red Sea Mountains, among the greatest places in the world, according to Time Magazine, America Time Magazine. This project follows the concept of people to people, global campaign, as it is line with Ministry of Tourism vision to put Egypt on the path of community tourism, as well as the grassroots tourism, as well as sustainable tourism. So all of us here, we should think outside the box. We should search about the alternative type of tourism as well for community tourism, one of the alternative, sustainable tourism, also one of the alternative. We should work about to achieve the aims and the goals for this tourism. So as in Egypt, so I will speak about one more idea about the tourism in South Africa as well as one of the most important country around the world. So Egypt and South Africa both, if we make a competitor between both of these two countries, in 2010 in South Africa, the international arrival tourist was around 8 million. In 2017 was around 10 million point two. In 2019, 10 million point four. In 2019, 10 million point two. As well as in Egypt, in 2010, the fantastic and the most important year was in 2010, 14,000.7 guests, as well as in 2017, 8.2, 2018, 11 million point three, 2019, 3,000.6, which mean with the projects which the Ministry of Tourism did already regarding the community tourism and sustainable tourism, they achieve more tourists. And this is the main issue which help economy, help creating more jobs, help the environment. And these three elements is one of the, let's say, the goals of the sustainable tourism. So in Africa as well, the growing tourism region growing a small base of just, for example, in 1990, totally in Africa, it was around 14.7 million. And this number increased in 2000 to 26 million international tourists, which mean with, sorry, which mean with the projects and the ways and the thinking of the government, they achieve the goals of international tourism as well as the cooperation with the other countries regarding with the other countries to achieve more and more. And the most important thing for each and everyone is the economy. But with the economy, I must do not destroy the environment. And we should care about the environment as it one of the most important issues here, as well as to work and to think about the future generation. This is the most important. So if the owners or if the investor, they want to, of course, to increase their business, but in the same time, we must think about the future generation as this one of the sustainable tourism development, as well as to save the community tourism, both go through to achieve the what they think about. We think about firstly environment is the most important. Secondly, to create job. The third one, which is economy. We don't sorry, we don't organize that the economy is the first part or the first thing what we search about. There is another element which is most important as the economy, which is environment, the people. This is the most important thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I don't know if our
Thank
friend...
you.
Oh, there he is. Okay, there you go. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Adel Abu Amir, that this is a very, very important presentation. You know, it's really opened us up to what Egypt is all about when it comes to looking at the community tourism. And I'm glad that you mentioned efforts that your government is making, you know, at incorporating the communities into, you know, having a better understanding of what's the potentials that they have. You know, looking at the campaign people to people, you know, it goes a long way. And also the Green Star program that you mentioned, and you also gave us, you know, data about the tourist arrivals, you know, which gives us a better understanding about the fact that definitely, you know, community tourism is really, really doing great. And these, you know, definitely other African countries will definitely buy into this. And this is the essence of these awareness that we are creating, you know, for us to have this consciousness about developing our communities, so that our tourism in Africa can really develop the way we want. Thank you, Mr. Abel. It's been great listening to your presentation. Thank you. Now let me go straight to yeah, I'm coming back to Nigeria now. You know, I'm going to bring in Princess Sura Olayemi Animashan. She's the supervisor of tourism and environment in Ekpe local government. You know, Ekpe is a community, a suburb of Lagos. So she's going to tell us how she has been able to walk around so many things, you know, bringing people from different parts of the country, from different part of Africa, to have a better knowledge about Ekpe community, you know, for them to see the tourism potential. It's a very, very beautiful place that you need to visit. You know, they have great culture. You know, one of the beautiful things about the place is the fact that they have these fish markets. So you hear all this from her. Princess Sura, are you there? Can you come on so that you can give us your presentation?
Please unmute yourself. You're muted. Can you unmute yourself, please? On your phone, you're muted. I think you have to just click on, yeah, there you go. Now you're unmuted.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, I've been following with a very big interest.
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes, and I'm so privileged to be here this morning. This meeting actually caught my attention, and what makes Ekpe, especially, what makes Ekpe a place of destination of tourism are the very activities that that are taking place in Ekpe, which has become an historical place, make it an historical place, and the ways of lives and cultural values that we have in Ekpe, and all our potentials, all this put together becomes tourism product, and that attract tourists in the thousands of such destinations just of recent. At a plenary session, we heard they are making a move to pull down some of our monuments and all. That was some months back, especially those ones in Badagry. And this gives me a very concern that what will be the future of our historical vision in terms of tourism and all. So I come up with a very good idea, and that's how I started with this Ekpe Asian City Tourism. And I started by facelifting all our monuments, facelifting all our cultural heritage and values that has been abandoned. I started with so many things so that Ekpe can be, in fact, Ekpe is known as the fish shop of the Lagos State, and Ekpe as all in terms of fish, because it's one of the sustainable means for us in Ekpe that from ages that people we sustained on, and now think, okay, why must it be fish alone? We can see because we have a very big marina, we have swamp, we have Eredu. I don't know if you're aware of that. That is in Ekpe as well. The first post office in Nigeria is in Ekpe. And we have so many cultural values that we can facelift and make people known that we have all it takes, we have all the potentials, and we don't need to start, going abroad. In fact, COVID had restrict many people now, and so that's opened our eyes to see so many things and to know that we should value what they have. And tourist is life. It's all about our environment and what we have. Tourism is about us. It's about what our potentials, our values, what we possess. So then I began our potentials, what we have, our marina, and all. With that, we have started receiving messages. Now, very soon, a terminal is coming to Ekpe, so we don't have to go through roads alone. We have to our transportation on water as well. So Lagos State government has started on that. And we tried to write another one to the Lagos State government concerning our roads, because we have a very bad road. And this has been taken up as well. And because we for a tourist to come to any community or to move around, we need a very good road, and which has been in place. And we try so many things in terms of tourism, to that is preservation of everything that makes Ekpe a prominent tourist, a prominent tourist site. Together we are better. And tourism is all about who you are. And as long as we live, we need to preserve what we have. Like for an example, this Oxford logo, Oxford exercise book, they still maintain their logo till date. So there are things that we need to be conscious of. That is why we planned on, giving our youth, even the community, a proper orientation on how to receive tourists and how tourism helps, to achieve a kind of, good sustainability, and to facelift, and to it gives more beauty to a community, because when you accept and receive tourists into your community, that is the beauty of a community, and it shows that that community has a good potential. It has all it takes for them to come and visit. So these are things that we have been working on, and I've been partnering, talking and writing letters, proposals to Lagos State government, and they have been responding very well. And in the by 2021, 2022, I think so many things will be in place to make a very tourist site. So, and now that the airport is coming to Ekpe, and we have Alaro City, and they too, they are doing so many things to assist in terms of tourism. So with all this, I think Ekpe is a better place we be a better place for tourists to come and visit. And there are challenges that we have as well, and these are the, like I said, we need proper orientation for the community, because some community, they don't accept tourists. They will want to like, now, like hoodlums, trying to like, attack, or maybe to like, okay, you have to pay before you can access this place, things like that. So all these things have been, we do tourist we do tourist tourism like we arrange a kind of program to orientate them and to let them know the benefits and the advantage, accepting them. And that can make, it bring a good partnership that, people can come invest and do so many things in Ekpe as well. And at the same time, in terms of tourism, I'm sorry, sir, I just want to be very, very brief about everything. And we must imbibe a culture of preservation to ensure tourism thrives. Under any circumstances, should any historical building or monument be demolished or in the quest of modernity, or maybe modernized world, or for a financial gain. These are part of consciousness of in local tourism community. We need to be conscious of all that. We need to be conscious of so many things, like, impacting, using tourism to impact life. So they will know the cultural value, they know the value of tourism in Nigeria and in other local communities. And I I tried to, arrange meeting, a kind of group, you know, in terms of tourism. And this makes me to go ahead into a kind of workshop. I did a workshop how to impact people, how to, how they can make money, and how they can do something when tourists come. So, like, during the EndSARS protest in Nigeria, I tried to, like, do a kind of program, a workshop. I turning waste to wealth. So, which I trained over 100 people, and I have the support of our assemblymen, and my father, being the royal father of Ekpeland. I try to get the support, so we impact our youth. So during the EndSARS protest, our youth were so busy they couldn't even participate. If you look at the EndSARS protest, you will know Ekpe is very, very peaceful during that protest. Probably because I tried to, like, get them busy, and which they really did well. And we try to make so many things. We make pet, we use pet bottles, tires, waste. We use waste to make, so many things. And they did exhibition, and we invite tourists, and they came, some they buy and all things like that. So there are many ways that we can use tourism to impact people's life. There are many ways that we can use tourists, to make them believe that we can make use of what we have to get what we want. We don't have to go outside or looking for what even we cannot even get, and why we have them here in our community, especially in Nigeria. So these are so many things I want us to look into. I want all the general bodies that are into tourism, both private and both state, to look into all these things that are that are more impactful, that are, as it is now, in the global world is very, very angry. And things, everybody, they have their mindsets. And tourism is something that we can use to bring back their, the kind of, mindset, to put their mindset in a proper way, to make them know that tourism is life. And with tourism we can make money. With tourism we can have a good life. In tourism we can impact people, we can touch people's life. Tourism, in fact, I learned to understand that tourism is part of, it's like a kind of antidote. Let me say an antidote, or maybe a medicine that can, make, people have a long life. Because there was I tried to, I went to um this there's a site in Ekpe that we have, Shingbon Eredu. So why going the site, why going through the bush and all, I perceived some kind of breeze, kind of natural, um kind of natural thing that I know in my normal routine, that I'm going out or moving here and there, I can't perceive it. And that is kind of, a very good sign, a very good thing for our health. So all these things, we need to put them in place. We need to orientate ourselves more on tourism. Even those people that are into tourism, because everybody now is into tourism, some people does not even know what tourism is all about, how tourism impacts our health, our lives, and our community. So all these things, we need to do more of these programs, more of um, orientation programs and all to facelift and to make kind of, let's make tourism more louder than what it is now, so that we can see reason to everything, and again make the government know that tourism, even tourism, is another access for them to make to boost the IGR. So, and I
Okay.
will
Okay. Okay. First Princess. So thank you so much. It's been great listening to you. It's wonderful. So I hope that you've been able. We don't have much time. That's why I have to cut in there, because I still have a panelist left. So, Princess, thank you for being a part of this. It's wonderful, listening to your presentation. I'm sure we'll still have a better platform to discuss these. Now, let me quickly, because we don't have much time at all. The time is fast spent. Let me quickly go to Tanzania. Mr. Richie Mandwi, are you there? Please come on board for your own presentation. We don't have much time left.
Okay.
I've been informed by,
No, thank you very much. And I'm sorry to cut in here. If you can please try to limit it for, like, we have to have a hard cutoff in about 6 minutes because we have another panel. I'm so sorry. But I'm sure we can always do this for a bit. Okay, go ahead. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yes. All right, thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you great.
Hello,
we can hear you fine. We can hear you.
Yes,
fine.
we can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for this wonderful opportunity to discuss about community tourism. And warm greetings from Tanzania. So in my presentation, I will just give you the overview about the tourism industry, and later on I'll zoom into issues of community tourism. So in a nutshell, Tanzania is one of the popular tourist destinations in East Africa, and about 28% of our land has been gazetted for protected areas. And in this case, we have more of nature-based tourism activities. We have 22 national parks, and in these areas, we usually practice the non-consumptive use of wildlife product. But we also have game reserves and other forms of attraction. But in terms of natural heritage, we have 7 been awarded the status of being the World Heritage Site. So some of the iconic attractions include Ngorongoro Conservation Area, the Mount Kilimanjaro Civil Game Reserve, and the Stone Town of Zanzibar. But why tourism? Tourism is one of the important economic sector for Tanzania, and it contributes about 27% of the total export, and it's a very good form of, or the source of generating the employment. It employs about 1.6 and 1.6 million people. And currently, we are trying to create opportunities for more people to employ themselves in the avenue of tourism. So the opportunity generated from tourism industry is based on the wide range of tourist attractions which we have, and we develop them as a part of the ministry, which I'm working in collaboration with the private sector. We do develop tourist attractions and form different products. So, as I've mentioned before, nature is the core product for tourism, but in these protected areas, we have communities living in the neighborhood, and we have different management model to ensure that community as well benefits out of the conservation activities. And this kind of arrangement is guided by the National Tourism Policy, and we also have the general management plan for every protected area. And for example, in the national parks, we don't encourage any human activities except tourism. But in the game reserve, we have the model we call WMA, Wildlife Management Area, whereby the people within the community, the local community, have opportunity to conserve and also to enjoy the benefits of the out of management of natural resources. But we also have the good neighborhood programs, so we channel back to the community not less than 20% of the income generated from tourism. So we have that kind of arrangement. But it's also very interesting to note that we encourage the so-called quality tourism and sustainable tourism. And in this area, we focus much on the 5 pillars of tourism. I agree with my colleague Adel, the first speaker, that the aspect of social, the environmental and political are very critical, but as well as economic aspect are very important. But we also widen up the scope to ensure that the technological part out of tourism development, as well as the political part of it, is also considered, so that we create a room for more stakeholders in the tourism to enjoy the benefits of tourism. So, Tanzanian view, as I've said, our strongest part is nature, and from the picture here, you can see the great migration. So, for example, Serengeti is a national park, but within this area, we only encourage the non-consumptive use of human activities like game viewing, game safaris, balloon safaris, and so on. But we have the Mount Kilimanjaro. For example, here in the Mount Kilimanjaro National Park, the popular activity is mountain climbing. And usually when tourists climb the mountain, they are supported by local. So we create opportunity for local guides, local chefs to benefit out of tourism as well. But we have this popular iconic attraction, the Ngorongoro crater. In this area, we practice the so-called the multiple land use. This kind of model is unique in Africa, and unlike the first model of the national park model, the multiple land use model creates opportunity for the natives of the area to live within the protected area. And in this case, if you come to visit Ngorongoro, you'll see the Maasai community, the Tatoga tribe, and the Barbaites living within the conservation area in harmony with the wildlife. As you can see in the picture, you see some shelters, we call them Maasai Boma, but that's how they live. They have their cattle and lions around, but the most interesting part of it, we also encourage them to do cultural tourism. So we have this kind of local experience in some of our protected areas as well. So Ngorongoro is one of the very interesting case study. But we are very much also interested, or we are keen into conservation of heritage issues. For example, within Ngorongoro, we have this iconic area, the Oldupai Gorge, where the Zinjanthropus, when you read about human evolution, you learn a lot of history and some facts behind human evolution. So it links the past and the modern life. And a lot of opportunity are there for communities as well to participate in the science activity. For example, the anthropology activities. But currently, we are also zooming into more of ecotourism activities, which focus into creating more attention to environmental conservation, but also meaningful experience to tourists. So we are introducing chimpanzee tours, and some of the popular sites for this is Gombe, Ubondo, and Mahale. The same, I've just mentioned only chimps, but we do the same for rhino. For example, currently we have introduced the activity of rhino naming. So we are trying to encourage the community as well, the international society to support conservation activities. Yeah. And this is the most interesting part. For example, Tanzania, we have about 900, the coasts, like the strip along the Indian Ocean. But here you find the Swahili culture. So we have great history and the connection between the Middle East and Europe during many years back. But you can still see the importance of tourism and how locals get opportunity to showcase their lifestyle. But the most important thing is for tourists to interact with them. And in terms of economic aspect, we benefit a lot out of this kind of activities. For example, the cultural activities along the coasts, whereby tourists visit our destination for beach tourism, the spice tour, as well as historical. But we also have some other leisure activities and some food bazaar. For example, if you go to Zanzibar Island, one of the popular tour is spice tour. And you can see the food over here is seafood, a very interesting experience. But at the bottom, you can see this lady is wearing kanga. This is a typical lifestyle, and some of the economic activities like fishing and so on along the beach. So
I'm so sorry, Mr. Ritchie. I really hate to do that. We have a kind of a hard cut. We have Tom Jenkins from ETOA. We have another session, what is our pretty much already in the process of starting. And we invite everyone to be part of it. And also we have actually participants from Tanzania. And we would love to cover this session. Maybe we can do a separate edition on Tanzania. I would welcome that.
Okay.
Just join us at wtn.travel. And anyone who wanted to go to the next session, it starts in 10 minutes. We just need the 10 minutes to set it up with Tom Jenkins about the alarming situation in the UK and in Europe about COVID. But I'm so sorry to interrupt everyone. We just got to cut off, otherwise we wouldn't be able to start the next session.
But I'm about to finish. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to finish. Yeah, just a few slides.
Okay.
Yeah. So the interesting part here also is a cultural tourism program. So in Tanzania, we have developed the cultural tourism enterprises, and you can visit, for example, on the website of Tanzania Tourist Board. You can see how we encourage this kind of product, and it's part of our national agenda when we talk of product diversification. So cultural tourism is really doing nicely, and we have a lot to show about the authentic Tanzania and create the meaning experience, the meaningful and the valuable cultural interaction with local. So I do support and concur with my previous speakers to raise the consciousness about cultural tourism and community participation. Thank you very much. Asante sana.
Thank you. Asante sana. Thank you very much.
Swahili.
Yeah, that's the only word I know. So it's a great word.
And you should say Tanzania unforgettable.
It is unforgettable. Yes, I agree with you.
Exactly.
We have actually Peter Byrne on our next session with London. He has been on a number of sessions. He runs
Okay.
Mafia Island in Tanzania.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yeah.
But
Very beautiful.
Kazim, I gave you the last word. I'm so sorry, but we got to cut off here within a minute. But I wanted to thank everyone, and hopefully you join us in a
Thank
few
you.
minutes.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Kazim, you have the
Cheers.
last word. I don't think he heard me. So in any case, guys, I appreciate it. If you need any information, get in touch with us. Go to wtn.travel, click on contact. We would love to work with you. If you're not a member yet of World Tourism Network, also go to wtn.travel. We have both complimentary and paid memberships, and we would love to have you on board. But we see you in a few minutes or at another session very shortly. Thank you and good night from Hawaii. Aloha and asante sana. Bye-bye.